GEEK Files, 2026, July 17th. Second work term. I was back up at the NRC at Little Sandwich Mountain and back with Alan Moore. No one wanted these jobs. I have no idea why. They're in town. They're good jobs. The Herzberg Institute, no T, is a world-class design facility for telescope instruments, especially adaptive optics units. You want an adaptive optics system for your telescope, they're one of the go-to places in the world. Anyway, there wasn't any design work at that time, so Al had done design and built a 5-position filter wheel for some telescope, and they needed transmission data for the 4 different filters that were in there, because one was obviously blank, there's nothing in it. So I built this stand out of shelving material that's pre-punched stuff. It was wobbly. It was called Rusty's wobbly stand. Then we mounted a camera to it, a sensor to it. So this thing was cooled by nitrogen to get it down to operating temperature. And then we had some sort of distant pinhole. I think the camera sat on top of the filter wheel. And then at the bottom was this very faint pinhole so that it gave a very flat field of light. That meant the room had to be completely dark. Like, we're talking like dark. So what I did is I came in the morning, made coffee, loaded the camera up with nitrogen, cooled it off, set up, which took a couple of shots of nitrogen to cool this thing off, because the room was quite warm. I was in this storage closet that had a window. So while the camera was cooling off, I shut the door and started having my coffee and letting my eyes adjust to see what new little pinholes of light were being leaked into the room, because the room had to be black. And then once it was black, started doing the tests. That took a long time, because it was like one test took a day. By the time the camera was cooled sufficiently, all the light leaks were found, took the picture, diagnosed the picture, went back, retook the picture on the same filter, because we wanted numerous pictures for averaging. And then Al was doing something else, and it was a very complicated mounting frame for all the optics that had to be held. And they wanted to know, and then some bright spark came up with the idea that, we want to know what the base resonance of this. So we wired it up. God, I can't remember. We hung this thing in different positions. My job was to whack it with a stick and then record the noise that came off of it, because those were going to be its resonant frequencies in different orientations. Which was useless, because once you started mounting anything in it, it not only dampens it, but it also changes its resonant frequency. So yeah. And then we did got some other project going that was sort of a bootstrap thing. It was like 3 optics in a tube. I can't remember what it was for. It was for one of the astronomers. Kind of wanted it, and really wasn't interested because he didn't have any. So all of this stuff is funded by grants. So if there isn't a grant for anything, it ain't getting done. So sometimes you bootstrap it by doing this sort of stuff on spec. They're paying me anyway, so I could sit with my thumb up my butt or do this and sort of try and bootstrap a project. Yeah. That was the second work term. That was in the spring of 94. Yeah. So coming into my first summer school session. A Sierra. Yeah. But learned a lot more about how creative you could be testing things with minimal equipment and getting information out of it. Yeah, I think Walter was having health issues at this time. I don't remember interacting at all with Walter, which was kind of a shame because, like, okay, he was old school and maybe he really didn't embrace kinematic design, but he still knew his stuff. I mean, the guy was still working on T-square, set squares, and pencil. So we did have a common bond there. Yeah, making appropriate life decisions. You don't make any money, but you get good stories.